All right, so we are recorded. My name is Joe Bullis, and this is EDLS 740. I've got about three cohorts this summer, so if I refer to your cohort by the wrong number, you're just going to have to forgive me. It's a little hard to keep up with it all. I do believe everybody is present. Appreciate that. I shared with you a little bit of my background, so I'm not going to go into that anymore. But I have been with Gardner Webb for about 18 years. It was in the first doctoral cohort that Gardner Webb have, and started teaching from them really actually after that. Been in the master's and the dissertation chair and committee, and then the doctoral cohort. But it's been a while since I have taught this course. It was named something else when I taught it, but hopefully we can make it beneficial to you. So we'll go ahead and get started with the agenda. I don't know if any of you practice any of the castle signature practices. Basically, what that is, when you start a meeting, is you have a welcoming activity, and then there's a brain break, one or two brain breaks, and then you have an optimistic closure. And it's just a good way to establish relationships, and you guys know each other, or I'm anticipating that you know each other, as this cohort has been together for a while, but you don't know me. And I don't know you, so that's one of the things that we've got to accomplish in a short period of time, because summer semesters are fast and furious, as you probably already know. So what I would ask you to do, part of the welcoming activity, is always trying to put people first. And this is coming out of the social and emotional initiatives that a lot of districts are doing. But what's new with you? What's new with me? Well, um, I guess what's new with me is actually teaching this course, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. I apologize for the dates. This is not normally how I would have arranged our Zoom dates and our face-to-face meetings. I would have mixed it up, and we would have been face-to-face a whole lot earlier. But as I said in the email, I was contacted by Dr. Stone and Dr. Lamb and asked me if I would teach this course. And well, my wife and I are having an anniversary, June the 3rd, on our wedding anniversary. We got married on June the 3rd, and lo and behold, at the Rolling Stones are playing January the 3rd in Orlando, Florida. So we're going to fly down there, and then we're going to go to the Bahamas for about 10 days after that. So we're going to have a big time. So that would have been the weekend I would have met with you. So I apologize for that. I really do. But we'll try to make it work, and I'll try to be as accommodating as possible. So that's what's new with me. So I'd like for somebody to tell me, you guys have been together probably the last semester, but you may not have seen each other for a while. So what's new with you since you last saw each other? And I'm going to pick on Eric. I think you're the first one on my screen. So Mr. Barton, what's new with you?
What's new with me is that the last day of school was yesterday.
Oh, well, congratulations.
So that's a celebration.
That is a celebration, and congratulations on that. And from you're still breathing. You still look like you're healthy. So it was a good close. I hope it was a good close. So Suzanne, you're next on the screen. I'm gonna pick on you next.
Yes, sir. So what is new with me is today was our official last day of state testing, although I do have to make up two tests with two different students. We are officially out of that period of time.
Well, congratulations. I know that that feels good, and get those two made up, and you'll be good to go. Miss Barber, Stephanie Barber, I'm going to ask you, what's new with you?
Yes, I was named the Assistant Principal of the Year for the South Carolina Alliance of Black School Educators. Um, so that's what's new with me.
Congratulations. I remember the email that you sent. Yeah, and that is wonderful. Congratulations. And I'm
Thank
sure it's
you.
well deserved, or you wouldn't have been named. So that's great.
Thank you.
Whitney? Oh, yes, ma'am. Whitney, what's new with you?
What's new with me is that I was named assistant principal for Dodea School. So I am now federal assistant principal. So it comes with a lot of perks. So I'm working two jobs right now, closing out one and helping with another. So I'm excited.
Congratulations, and believe you me, the longer you're in education, the more you'll get used to doing 3 or 4 more jobs at one time. So that's great. Congratulations. Teresa?
Hello, I am new to a new position as coordinator for the Elementary Intervention Behavior Program for our district. And I have not had children officially all school year, but I have gotten to know quite a few of my little friends who will be with me next year.
Well, congratulations on that. That's great. You guys are getting new positions and moving on, so you're already reaping the benefits of being associated with Gardner Webb and moving into your career. So that's wonderful. Mr. Gary Koch, what's new with you, sir?
Uh, all staff came to work today, and they were smiling, they were laughing, and I was just excited about that, you know.
It's a good thing when everybody you depend on shows up to come to work. So congratulations. That's awesome. Must be your stellar personality that brought him in. That's what it was.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Tanya, what's new with you? Tanya Moore? And if I'm mispronouncing some names, you got to understand, I'm a recovering redneck. I'm in a 12-step program, so my accent and my expressions tend to go off sometimes. You'll just have to forgive me. So, Miss Tanya, what's new with you?
What's new with me is I was just named a principal. I've been an assistant principal at Great Falls Elementary in Chester County. And so I was named the principal Chester Park Post. So that's what's new with me.
Congratulations. Awesome. I know you're in the middle of chaperoning, I believe is what you chaperone. So I understand the reception might not be good, but I certainly appreciate you making the effort to join us this evening. Miss Bridget, what's new with you, ma'am?
Hey there. So what's new with me? We ended the school year, and so I'm excited about that. And what else is new is that one of my dear aunts that I have not seen in probably about 5 years is in town, so I get to spend some time with her.
That's wonderful. That is good to reconnect. Great, great. Congratulations on ending the school year, and hope you enjoy the time with your friend. Catherine, I think I finally see a name that I recognize. It's good to see and talk with you again. Even I think we just communicated via email and Blackboard last time, but it's good to see you. What's new with you, Catherine?
So as my wonderful colleagues in Gaston County have already shared, our last day of school was Wednesday, but our first day of summer reading camp is going to be June 10th. We're anticipating having about 1,200 scholars with us, and I have the joy of coordinating that for our district. So what's new with me is just as we're closing out this school year, we're also kind of getting ready to launch our summer reading camp.
Awesome. Yeah, that's exciting time. I remember the days when we used to be out for summer. Last day of school, and that was it. And that's when you worked on the football field and started cleaning up some stuff and getting inventory done. But it's school's about a year long anymore, but that's good. It gives more opportunity for our students to succeed. And and I apologize. Please tell me how to pronounce your first name, and I try not to bother you too soon because I know you're on the road, and if don't want to put any pressure on you. If you'd rather not talk, I understand completely.
So it's Anera, like
Anera.
Panera.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's Anera like Panera, and today I finished up my last end of the year evaluation meeting as a principal supervisor.
Excellent. That is something to feel really good about it. So congratulations. It's good to get those done and get them out of the way. I understand completely. So congratulations on that. I think the only person I have not heard from is Walter Jones. So Walter, what's new with you?
Hey, good evening. I just got home from work, so I'm getting ready to go in the house. So I apologize that my camera is not on, but just give me just a few minutes. But what's new with me? This is my last year as principal. I'll be transitioning into a new role as the Director of Educator Services, where I'll be working in human resources, with recruiting. I'll be working with first-year teachers, and I'm excited because I'm leaving principalship, but Tanya Moore will be my replacement. So I'm excited about that as well.
Congratulations on your new job. That sounds exciting. And yeah, take your time getting into the house, and we'll see you when you come back on camera. Thank you and good job. So that's great. Some wonderful things are happening to you guys, and I'm really glad to hear that, and appreciate you sharing all that. So we'll move on through the agenda. And the next item on the agenda is our meeting norms. And you already have a way of meeting and communicating and interacting with each other through your cohorts in the past. So I don't know that we need any formal, but I just want us to be mindful of how we listen, how we respond to each other, and how we act. I tell you what, I never heard it phrased any better than this. It was an old gunnery master sergeant said that you need to be on time, be in the proper uniform, and have the correct mindset. And I just love that. I've used that several times, and I think that's a good way to do business and a good way to interact with each other. Is just everybody was on time tonight, and being the correct uniform just means being in the moment, being whatever the situation calls for. If you need to listen, then listen. If you need to talk, then talk. If you need to respond, then respond. And I don't want to do all the talking for this cohort, and I certainly know you don't want me to do all the talking. I want to hear from you. I remember when I was in the first doctoral cohort, and I'll try not to tell too many old war stories, but I remember when I was in the first doctoral cohort, the thing that I really drew value from is hearing other people dealing with their situation and dealing with their stuff. And then we talked it out and how we responded and how we used that information and the network that was created. I still talk to a lot of my friends that were in the original cohort, and there's value in that. So I think we just be professional. And if you think something and you feel like you need to share it, please share it. If you need to stop me, because I do tend to ramble. If you need to stop me, that is not going to hurt my feelings at all, because the most important people in this room is you. That's who we're here for. That's why I'm here, and my job is to help you be successful, to challenge you, and to give you opportunities to grow and to support what you're already doing. And so I think as long as we can interact like that, we'll be in great shape. So the next item on the agenda was introductions, and we kind of went through that. But I would like for you to just kind of volunteer. I know your names, but how many of you work in Gaston? Okay, great. My former superintendent, Steve Laws, was a superintendent in Gaston County. He went back as interim. I don't know if he's still there or not. And then he was actually, you probably know this, he was actually over the doctoral cohort at Gardner Webb. So yeah, I got lots of good contacts in Gaston. So if you're not from Gaston, where are you from? And just unmute and let me know. And also, if you do that, what's your position or main responsibility, and how many years have you been in education?
I'll start. I'm Stephanie Barber. I'm in Chester County. All 31 years of my being in education has been in Chester County. So 31 years, and I'm the assistant principal currently at Louisville Middle School. And there's 5 of us total from Chester County. So I think we're split. What, 4? What'd you say? Oh, you're waving your hand. Okay, Teresa. Yeah, so it's 5 of us in the same cohort that are from Chester County.
Excellent. So that's great. You guys know each other inside and outside the cohort. So for those of you in Chester County, if you will, let me know what your role is.
My role is assistant principal at a 6 through 12 middle high school combo.
Thank you.
My role is the elementary behavior coordinator for the entire district. And this is my 31st year in education.
I'm currently a principal. I'm sorry, did someone else? Oh,
Yeah,
oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Tanya. Go ahead.
Okay, this is my 11th year. So I'm currently the assistant principal right there for community school. Next year I'll be training.
Got you. Thank you. Okay,
And
Mr.
this,
Jones, I know you just got your promotion, so I appreciate you sharing that. Sorry to
thank
be
you. Yeah.
repetitive.
Oh, no problem. And 18 years.
18 years. Excellent. All right. Is that all from Chester County? Okay, great. So if you're out not in Gaston and not in Chester, let me know where you're at. And if you haven't already told me, let me know your current position.
I'm the lone wolf. I am from I'm in Fayetteville. I was in Cumberland County Schools. But now I'm working for Fort Liberty. So I'm working for Dodea Schools now. And I've been in education for 6 years.
Awesome. Great. All right. Who else? Is that everybody? Catherine, where are you from? Remind me of that.
Gaston. So,
Gaston. Okay.
16 years, all in Gaston County Schools, and I am an academic facilitator with Academic Services.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, when you get my age, and I could be the safe to say I'm the oldest one in the room. My mind tends to wander, so you'll just have to call me back in sometimes. Has anybody else not shared their position? Or Anara, did you let us know how many years have you got in education?
I have I'm an executive director of elementary schools, and this is I was trying to count it up actually. I think it's about 17 or 18 in
Awesome.
public schools.
Gotcha. It runs together after 10 years, doesn't it? Seems like. All right. Okay. So I appreciate that. I don't want to cut out anybody. Did everybody get a chance to share on that? And it will take me a while to get to know you and to get to know what position. So as I said, you'll just have to forgive me as I make those mistakes, because I will make them. All right. Okay. Good. Well, I appreciate it. So this is a good group, and I know you guys have been together, but you've got assistant principals, you've got district leaders already, and I think those of you who are in the district role and getting ready to look in the role, I remember when I was a teacher, I used to think, man, the assistant principal's got it made. I can't wait to be an assistant principal because he's not in the classroom, she's not in the classroom. They're probably kicking it back in the office with reading the newspaper, maybe watching a few bus videos. Then when I got to become assistant principal, I found out there is a huge difference. And I was dealing with buses, butts, and bathrooms just like everybody else. We were in a middle school. We had 28 buses hubbed through our middle school, which was huge in Wilkes County. But then I was thinking assistant principal. I thinking, man, I can't wait to be a principal. I know they've got it made. They get all the glamour. I'm here making them look good every day, and they're getting all the credit. And they just go to all these nice meetings, probably lay back. They're probably having shrimp and caviar, drinking coffee. And then I got to become a principal, and I learned real quick that job is totally different. Then when I was a principal, I think, man, you get in the central office. That's where you get to do a lot of great things. You get to affect the whole district, and get to organize your own time. You don't have people coming in and calling you, telling you what to do. You get the district level, you got it made. Well, I found out different. So the moral of the story is no matter what seat you're sitting in, education is difficult. Education is time consuming. Education is draining of energy, but education is very rewarding. Whether you're at the district level or you're still in the classroom, the fact that you're still helping kids. You're making a difference. You get at the district level, it's a little harder to see sometimes. I've been federal programs director or executive director for about 18 years now, and now I'm working in career and technical education for the last 4 years. I don't get to see the benefits of the eyes light up and the child saying, when they get something they've been working hard to do. But when I walk through the school and I see the schools getting credit for great things and the district getting credit for great things, I think, I had a part of that. I had a part of that. But one of the things that I found difficult, and some of you are already there, some of you getting ready to transition into that, and some of you will transition into that, is the different perspective, the different lens that you have to look through. As a principal, it was all about my school. This is my school. I own this school. My name is on it. I've got to do whatever I can to make this school successful. So you're thinking about that little area or big area, depending on the size of the school, but that area that you work in and day out. But then when you get to the district level, it's not my school, it's all the schools. What are we doing as a district? How are we communicating with each other to support all the schools? It could be 22 schools, it could be 30 some schools. But when you get to the district level, your perspective changes tremendously in providing resources to support your principals and your teachers. So anyway, we will go ahead and get started. I think next item on the agenda is let's look at Blackboard Ultra. So I'm going to share my screen and pull up the Ultra, and we're going to go through that. Let's go here and share here, and we'll pull on over. So let me get this out of the way so I can see what I'm doing here. All right, so you should be seeing the Blackboard Ultra. That's a little new, as you know. Did you guys use Blackboard Ultra last semester? I'm seeing some shakes. It was supposed to be maybe what we would call the pilot, and we, for what I was working in, we were going to continue with the traditional Blackboard during the summer and then transition over to Ultra this fall. But then word came from the powers that be that we would transition all into Ultra this semester. So it's still new for me. It is user friendly. I like it. I actually do like it better than the old Blackboard shell that I used in the past. So it's a good thing. It's going to take a while to get used to. But if you look at the first item is new to Blackboard Ultra, start here for navigation and overview. And I've got the student view pulled up right now. So you should be seeing the same thing. It should look exactly with what you're seeing as you get into the shell. So is anybody having any problem navigating through Blackboard Ultra? Everybody good with that? Okay, very good, very good. I didn't think you would have an issue, but just wanted to make sure that everybody felt comfortable doing that. So the first thing I want to look at is the enrollment verification activity. If you haven't done that, that is required for the course. Please make sure that you take care of that. You get the EVA taken care of and done, and we'll mark that off the list. So if you haven't done that, I would encourage you after we get off to tonight's session, before you do anything, just go ahead and knock that out. And there is an assignment that's already due, but I don't mean to throw you a curveball, but it's nothing big. It's just contact information. We'll get into that in a minute, but you do get a point, and it is something that came in on the Blackboard shell that you'll need to take care of. So the next item is meet your instructor. You've already done that, and if you haven't looked at it, that's a little bit about my background and a few things that we'll be doing and everything. Once again, I think I shared with you in the email where I'm at and what I've done. So if you want to find out more about me and you just think I'm just a captivating individual and you need to find out more about Joe Bullis, then shoot me an email and I'll tell you everything that you want to know. So enough about me. However, You can reach me several different ways. You can reach me, this is my preferred email address, the Gardner Webb email address. I check that every day. I've always got it up in the background every time I get a moment, especially at lunchtime. And my lunch break may be 9 a.m. in the morning. My lunch break may be 3 in the afternoon, just like you. I may not even get a lunch some days, but I do try to check Gardner Webb periodically throughout the day. If you feel like that you need a more immediate response, you can contact me at my school email address, bullishj@wilkes.k12.nc.us, because of course I monitor that throughout the day. Now, if you email me and I don't give you an immediate response, it's probably because I'm out in schools or I'm in a meeting, or I may be down in shop class at one of the high schools helping kids, use a bandsaw or something. But I will get back to you. I will do my best to respond to emails within 24 hours. If not sooner. Most of the time it will be sooner because, like I said, I monitor those pretty closely. This is the direct line into my office, so you can contact that. If you need, actually, you're more likely to get a more immediate response through email than my office line. But if you feel like you need to give me a call, you can use that. If you need instantaneous within the hour response, then this is my mobile number. I do monitor that. We all get those spam risk calls and telemarketer calls. So if I don't recognize the number, I normally don't answer it. I just send it to voicemail. So if you want to text me ahead of time and say, "Hey Joe, this is Whitney. I need to talk to you," and then I'll put you in my contact information. The next time that you call, it'll come up. So if you want to text me ahead of time, say, "Can we talk? Are you good to talk?" Then just let me know. I think one of you did. I think it was Tanya tonight that texted me and said, "Hey, this is Tanya. Just let you know I'll be chaperoning tonight." So that's why it's going to be a little bit different the way I'm coming into class. And that was perfect. I knew she was in the class. It wasn't an odd random number come up that I would have sent or not ignored. So that's my contact information. Now we're going to meet through Zoom several times, as you know. We'll also be meeting face to face. But I want you to know, if you need additional support, I'm always good for a phone call. We can always communicate email. But if you need an outside Zoom session about something that you're working on or you need support in some way, I can do that. I don't necessarily keep office hours with Gardner Webb, but I will make myself available to you if you schedule and say, "Hey, I need a few moments. Can we Zoom? Can we do a virtual meeting?" No problem. We can do that. We just need to schedule it out a little bit. All right, so let's go from that. I got to move these screens over. Meet your instructor. And then if you haven't already done so, spend some time in the next areas of Blackboard Ultra, and we're going to start with this start here. Click to open. Course introduction. I'm not going to go through each one of these. That's just a general overview, as you're already aware of. We will be dealing with managerial leadership, and that's basically your auxiliary services. That's going to be your finance department. That's going to be your maintenance department, school nutrition, transportation, those services outside of what you would consider instructional services, or sometimes student services are included in auxiliary services, but for the purpose of our course, we're just going to focus on those. We're going to focus on finance, auxiliary services, in terms of child nutrition, transportation, and maintenance. And one of the things that I have learned in my time in central office is you deal with these areas more than you think you would, and some of you already know this. But also, they can have a profound impact on your school one way or the other. Just for example, a snowstorm transportation department that can shut your school down, and you rely heavily on your transportation department to make the determination, is it safe, is it not safe, and then heavily on your maintenance department to get the parking lots of the school cleared, to get the custodians up and getting them there and getting the sidewalks cleaned. So auxiliary services are just as important to the successful running of a school district as any other department. I think they have more of a reactive short-term impact. A lot of times instructional services, you work all year for that very end of the year in the terms of the EOG or EOC, and you got check-ins and things like that. But short-term impact, if the sewage system goes out of the school, and you have things running out of the bathroom into the hallway, that's going to affect the school in the short term, which I've had that experience before. So anyway, we'll be dealing with managerial leadership and dealing with those departments through this course. Here's some first steps. I hope everybody's got their textbooks. I hope you've had a chance to review Blackboard Shell. Once again, make sure you complete the enrollment verification and take care of that. Here are the textbooks right here. We'll be talking about Modern School Business Administration. They're going to be digging heavily into the Earthman book, Planning Educational Facilities. We'll get into that in just a moment, but those are the textbooks. You should have those on hand. If not, you need to get them ASAP. Here's the course syllabus. You should have had an opportunity to kind of review that, and it is basically what we just talked about, managerial leadership. Obviously, you got the Zoom link because you're all here, but here's the Zoom link to each meeting. Once again, there's my contact information, and have all the information about the course and attendance policy. But here's a rundown of our schedule of activities. Now, this is kind of an overview. This is kind of what we shoot for each class. You'll get more detailed information from each of the specifics, Zoom sessions, activities listed below this in the Ultra Shell, as well as our face-to-face. But it's just a kind of a rundown. Anything in orange, obviously, is a Zoom session. Anything in green is a face-to-face. The dates, the times, and we'll talk about times here in just a moment. But that's a rundown of the course syllabus. The clinical log. So as you know, you do take clinical hours. I don't know if every one of you came through the MELS program or the MSA program in Gardner-Webb, but if you did, then you're very familiar with collecting your clinical internship hours. You do have those here in this, as you did in the other sections. So those are self-reported. You just write the times down here. You need a minimum of 30 clinical hours. So you just list what you do in terms of these different types and the hours you spend on them, sign it, print it, date it, and send it to me. Any questions on that? Nothing has changed than what you've done in prior courses, but I just want to make sure everybody good with that. You can pull that off of here. It does have to be typewritten. You can write it, it's fine. Handwritten is fine. Okay, good deal, good deal. All right, so the attendance policy. So one thing that Gardner-Webb is pretty adamant about, and we've kind of had that stressed to us this year, is attendance. Basically for this class, we will take attendance and really two different ways. So you attended tonight, that's great. But we're also recording this. So what if you couldn't make it tonight? What if the power was out? What if your internet went out? But then you watched the recording later. Well, should you get credit for attending? Should you not get credit for attending? What if you weren't able to make to the class, but you did the assignment and you gave the feedback? So that's basically, I'm really flexible with this. As long as I see somebody trying and wanting to be a part of the class and wanting to be a part of the course, I'm going to work with you. If you do the assignments in a timely manner, get them done by the due dates, or if you can't get them done by the due dates, if you'll let me know why you can't get them done by the due dates, then I'm going to give you, I'm going to work with you. But basically, if you do the assignments, that's your attendance. Now, you do need to be at all the face-to-face weekend classes. If for some reason that you can't be at a face-to-face weekend classes, and this has already kind of come up, I am okay with you attending one of the other doctoral courses 740 that's out there. Just make arrangements with that professor. I think Dr. Fisher is meeting in Charlotte. And if you want to go to that class for that weekend in lieu of this, now don't say, well, I've had enough of Bullis. I'm going to go all 3 classes. I'm going to take somebody else. You can't do that. We'll talk about it one at a time. But, if you can't make it for whatever reason, I'm okay with you attending another class as long as you do so. I will need some type of confirmation that you attended that class, and so that'll count. So, but you are required to meet 75% of the time. I understand life happens. Gardner Webb's really good about that. I had a brand new kid, 2 other kids coaching football, wrestling, and track when I was going through the doctoral cohort. And I made an effort to be every time. I think 1 or 2 times I couldn't be. We understand life happens, and that's kind of the unwritten, unofficial motto of Gardner Webb. So we'll work with you as long as I know what you're dealing with, and as long as you help me understand, I'm going to work with you. We're going to make it through this together. And this is the end of the program. Congratulations on that. You guys are about ready to wrap up and get your dissertation finished and defend that. So we want to finish strong. We want to get you successfully through this summer semester. Any questions on the attendance policy? All right. There's the EDLS handbook. You should be familiar with that. I'm not going to necessarily click on that, as well as the technology requirements, accessibility, and privacy. You can review that. But I do want to draw attention to this. Dr. Stone did put in all the summer classes and the schedule for each of the different cohorts and the different courses. So for some reason, if you cannot meet, and Charlotte is in green, I believe, yeah, if you cannot meet and you do need to attend Dr. Alton's class or Dr. Fisher's class, then here's when everybody is meeting at the Charlotte campus. So you can just contact me individually and we'll work through it. All right, so there's a overall schedule for everybody if you need it. All right. Okay. So let's move on down. Let's close out, start here, and let's move down to schedule of activities. Once again, of course, there's some redundancy built into every system. There's the Zoom link. And you will be doing presentations. I don't think this is anything. Man, it is getting dark in my office. I look like I'm sitting in a hole right now. I just noticed that. I just had the windows open. We'll take a brain break here in a few moments and I'll turn the lights on. But anyway, if I totally disappear, you can just listen to my voice. And if my face disappears and you can't see it, that might be a blessing. I don't know. But we won't talk about that. All right, so there's the Zoom link, presentation schedule, and templates. So you will be doing presentations. You're going to be doing presenting on the managerial plan, and you're also going to be doing some presentations in the Earthman textbook. I'm hoping with the textbook, it will give you some theoretical information, some research and resources that you can use as you do some of the assignments. And I really like the way that this course has been developed. I've worked with Dr. Stone, I've worked with Dr. Lamb, is everything every assignment and task that you're doing, I'm hoping it's going to help you and start building toward the main capstone project, which is the capital expenditure plan. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. So the things that you're reading, the things that you're presenting on, I hope to see them again in that capstone project, especially from Earthman and that text and your other texts, as far as you write your narrative. That's some good research and resources to put into the narrative to support what you're going to be doing. The managerial plan, That's going to be good information for you to use as you start looking at the different auxiliary, at the different services, the managerial services, the auxiliary services, and how they work, and identifying needs out there. Because one of the first things you do in the capital extent, the CEP, which of course we're great for acronyms around here, but the CEP, the capital expenditure plan, is going to be a needs assessment. So some of these managerial presentations should be good to kind of kick that needs assessment off. So let's look at the presentation schedule. All right, so here is the way I've got it planned out. They will begin on Zoom too, and we'll be doing managerial plan. There'll be 5 presenters next session that we meet. And then each presenter is one person. There won't be any team presentations. We might do some of that during our weekend times together. Right now, these are individual presentations. There's 11 presenters. There's 11 of you. So everybody needs to kind of be thinking about when you want to present. Zoom 4 will be a combination. We'll finish up with our managerial plan, and the first 3 presenters will be presenting a chapter in Earthman. So at this point in time, I'm going to take a brain break and give you a chance to review this. And if you would like, everybody needs to sign up for a time slot. You need to sign up for one of the managerial plan slots, and you need to sign up for one of the chapter presentation slots. So if you will kind of first come, first serve, if you will put into the chat what presenter that you will want to be, then I'll sign you up and I'll send this list out and revise it and update it in a moment. So just take a moment. I'm going to go off camera, turn my lights on to give you a moment to look over this, and you can start putting in the chat when you want to present. You need to sign up for 2. Dos. I'll be back in just a moment.
Of the date of the next class. I'm sorry, I'm not able to not keep looking. The next section.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that, but the
date of the next class.
The date of the next class, that is in the syllabus. Let me move out of here. Those are all listed under where we're getting ready to talk about. But next class, here are they. This one's May 23rd. The next one's the 30th. One's June the 6th. We'll talk about that one. June 13th, 27th. The week of July the 4th, we're not going to meet on Thursday. We're going to meet on a Tuesday. We'll talk about that, July the 2nd and July the 18th. So they're all listed here. So I'll be back in just a moment. All right, I am back and I've recorded some of these. Give everybody a chance to get back. You may have went took a small break, so I don't want to start till everybody gets back. But let's see. I am working through. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go through what I have, and then we'll need you to sign up for some more. Some of you signed up for the same ones. That's understandable, the way we did that. So it was a kind of a free for all there, but some of you readjusted, and that's good. So right now, and if you want one of the open slots, please unmute yourself and let me know who you are, and we'll do that. I'm going to stop the share real quick here. Alrighty, so I think so I don't have anybody for presenter one. I'm talking about managerial plan presenter one. I don't have anybody. Anybody want one? Take one. If you haven't signed up yet, you'll need to. And if I got your name wrong, correct me. Okay, 2, 3. I do have Edwards for managerial plan 4. So Edwards, Teresa has got managerial plan presenter 4. Eric Barton has presenter 5, managerial plan presenter 5. Okay, managerial plan presenter 2, and I'm going to just make sure that yours is right because I'm going to update the list and I'll put it on the shell. For presenter 6, Catherine has presenter 6. Okay, presenter 7, managerial plan is Bridget. Bridget's got presenter 7 of the managerial plan. That's Zoom 3. Stephanie has got presenter 8 of the managerial plan. Whitney has presenter 9 of the managerial plan. Gary Koch has got presenter 10 of the managerial plan. And okay, let me got a quick update here. Okay, so Suzanne, I got you down for presenter 3 of the managerial plan, but presenter 3 of the chapter 3, and I've got you down for chapter 3. Got it. Okay, so all right, so I believe I was down to Jones has got for the managerial plan, presenter 11 is Jones. Walter, you've got presenter 11 on the managerial plan. Have not got chapter 2 for presenter 1, which is, we'll go by chapters. Chapter 2 hasn't taken yet. Suzanne, I've got you down for chapter 3. Yes.
Tanya Moore, I think chapter 2, or whatever's left.
Okay, Tanya, thank you. I'll put you down. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna put you down. Tanya, are you good to do of the managerial plan? Are you good to do presenter 1?
Dr. Bullis.
Anera, go ahead.
So I don't have the text yet, and that's next week. So that's why I'm about being the first one and not having a text.
Sure. Now for the managerial plan, and we'll look at the template in a minute, you won't need the text for the managerial plan. So are you good to do 1 or 2?
1 is on the 30th.
I
think so.
Yes. Yes. It'll be the next class section we'll start. Are you good to do that, Anera? All right, thank you. And these are not going to be intensive. We'll talk about that in a minute. Tanya, I'm going to put you down for presenter 2 of the managerial plan. Okay, so the managerial plan, presenters 1 through 11 are set. I will get that list updated and get it back out to you. For the chapter presentation, that is going to be our 4th Zoom session, chapter 2. Tanya, I'm going to put you down for chapter 2. Chapter 3, I have Suzanne. Chapter 4, I have Barbara. Zoom session 5. Chapter 5, Anera. Chapter 6, Eric. Chapter 7, Whitney. For Zoom session 6, chapter 8, Bridget, chapter 9, Jones. So I need, if you haven't gotten the chapter yet, if you want to put in the chat or tell me, I need somebody to do Zoom session 6. Okay, Coke, I got you for 10. Gary, I got you down for 10. All right, so I see.
I'll do 6.
Okay. 6 is good. Teresa, do you want to do 9 or 11?
9 is fine.
9 is fine. I like that. All right. And then that leaves, I'll figure it out here, but I think Catherine, that leaves you.
Oh, I was going to say, yes, sir. I think that makes me 11, but just wherever I need to go, I will put myself down for that.
I think we've got that settled. Thank you very much. We're good to go with that. If there's any issue with that, you can contact me separately and let me know. Once again, I'm easy to get along with for the most part. So if there's some issues and we need to work with, you just let me know. If something happens, you let me know, okay? I always hate, this is not a halo. Mine is invisible, so just ignore this glow above my head. I know that makes me look really smart, but that's just a reflection from my light in the mirror. Okay, so let's get back to screen share now that we got that settled. And we're going to go back to our Ultra, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit more. So going back to these managerial plan presentation, the template is there for you. Now, you do not have to follow the template. This is just a suggestion. But basically what this managerial plan is it outlines for you what to put in the presentation. You do not have to use this format or this theme, make it yourself. But I did put the template in here for you to use just as a snapshot of what you need to do. These we're talking about 15-minute presentations, so there's not a lot there. In that, the chapter presentation can go like 25 minutes, but for the managerial plan, we're talking about a 15-minute presentation. And here is the way it needs to flow. This is the information that I'm looking for. So what's the organizational chart of the auxiliary services department? Now, like I said, different districts do it different ways. And in a lot of districts, student services may not be part of the auxiliary department. In other districts, it may be because we're talking about maybe nurses and things along those lines. So what's the organizational chart? How are the auxiliary services department laid out in your district? What are the goals of that? And there might be a little bit of question mark. One thing we'll talk about later on is your auxiliary services is maintenance, transportation, child nutrition, is that present in your strategic plan? So are they represented in your strategic plan? Is facility maintenance and child nutrition, do they have goals or do they have strategies or do they support those? Is it evident? And if it is, bring that out. So see if your auxiliary services has any goals, and I would encourage you to look at strategic plan or look at the individual departments on the website, or contact your child nutrition director, contact your maintenance director via email, over the phone, in person, contact your transportation director and ask them, what are the goals of your department? A lot of them will be tied to school finance. That's why this is included in this in managerial leadership, because school finance, that's the engine for the train. If you don't have the money, you're not going to buy buses. You're not going to move buses. If you don't have the money, you're not going to fix a leaky roof. You're not going to pave the parking lot. You're not going to stripe the parking lot. Child nutrition, is it going in the hole? Is it on mark? How are those meals funded? So that's all things. I'm guarantee you, you're a director of each of these has goals, may not be official and written out, but I guarantee you they have goals for their different areas. Services and job duties, what's the opportunity for growth? And this is all going to come for conversations. And that's the managerial plan. It's a short template, it's a short presentation, just giving a snapshot of your district in the ways of auxiliary services. Now, we're not talking about school finance here. We'll talk about that different. This is just basically maintenance, transportation, and child nutrition. And then if you have some others that are seen as a part of that, have any question about that, contact me and let me know. Any questions on the managerial plan? All right, great. If you run into that, let me know. If you have any questions or you need some help with that, be happy to help you. So the chapter presentation here is the template for that. This is basically a 25-minute presentation, pulling out some, we're starting with chapter 2. We're not starting with chapter 1. You can change this template if you want to. You can use this template if you want to. But here's the information that I want pulled out from the chapter. And during this, I'll make it relevant to your district. What are you reading in your particular chapter that's relevant to your district or that you see your district as implementing? Some of the theoretical context of each chapter. Can you make a correlation between what you're reading and what you're seeing in your district? If you can't see it in your district, if you're an assistant principal, then begin to reach out and look at it from a district lens. But are you seeing that information correlated to what's going on in your school? And I'm sure you have maybe district assistant principals meeting or district principal meetings. Are you hearing that? Are you seeing that correlated in other schools as well? So facts from that chapter. Basically, pull out the relevant facts that's correlated to your new district in those chapters, and that should be from the whole chapter. And then engage your colleagues. So you want to ask questions. You want to engage your conversation. So lead and facilitate a conversation about that. That's why I made these a little bit longer about that particular chapter. So you want to engage your colleagues. And then what are your personal takeaways from that chapter that's going to add to your growth? And then here's some other things. What can I use to improve my HR leadership skills, my managerial leadership? Is the last slide that you want to get. It's all there for you to look at. The template's there for you to use and to look at as a resource. Any questions on your chapter presentations? All right, great. So at this point, let's talk about the Zooms. Of course, tonight, I've listed each Zoom session 1 through 7 and the dates of those sessions that we talked about. I do want to talk about June the 6th. As I told you, I'm going to be out of the country in the Bahamas June the 6th. And we're going to an island in the Bahamas that are known for rolling internet outages and blackouts. That's I like to get off the grid when I go on vacation. We'll either go in the woods to where there's no internet service, or we'll find a tiny island somewhere where nobody can reach us. But the house that we are using in the Bahamas does have internet. It's the same house we've used before, so I don't think it'll be an issue. But if it does, I do have a satellite hookup on my phone. I will send an email through my cell phone giving you instructions on what to do. I don't anticipate there being a problem. You may see my face redder than usual because when I drink coffee and talk a lot, my face tends to get red. If I'm down in the Bahamas, it may be even redder. And you may see a real big smile on my face because I love it down there. But we're still going to hold class. And I'll try not to show you views of the water and the sand because I don't want to make you feel bad because I want to share the love here. We're all one group. But anyway, let's prepare for June the 6th, but if that doesn't work, then look for an email from me with instructions. Like I said, I don't think there'll be any problem, but I just want to be prepared just in case. Zoom session 4 is June 13th. Zoom session 5 is June 27th. 6 is if we go on our Thursdays, well, July the 4th comes on a Thursday. And I didn't want to do that to you with your families. I want you to celebrate July the 4th with your families. So we're going to deviate from the Thursday night meeting on July the 2nd. We'll be meeting on a Tuesday. I hope that doesn't cause any conflict. I tried to put this out just as soon as I could with the schedule so you'd be aware of it. But we will not be meeting on Thursday, July the 4th. We will be meeting on Tuesday, July the 2nd. If that's a conflict, let me know. And then our final Zoom session will be July the 18th. For each Zoom session, I have put an agenda, and there's also maybe some helpful hints with your dissertation or APA tip of the week, just some the things kind of mix it up a little bit. The agendas will basically stay the way they are now. I did make some changes to tonight's agenda, just minor changes. But for the most part, these will be what we have planned for each Zoom session. That way you can know ahead of what's expected of you. The majority of our Zoom sessions are going to be you talking and you presenting. I'm talking more tonight than I will any other Zoom session, because I want to hear from you and I want you to share with each other just as you've done in the past. All right, so I'm going to update the presentation schedule with the names that we worked through this evening. So that'll be something new that I'll add in probably sometime in the next day or so. All right, so I'm going to close out, but the schedule of activities for our Zoom sessions are right here. Now, your assignments. We're going to move into the assignment section. And the majority of this shell was downloaded by Dr. Stone, and it was information that he has used in past 740s. I went in and I tweaked some things and changed some things just to kind of fit my style and what I want to do. Some of the things goals I had in mind for our time together. One of the things that I left, that he left, was this contact information. I did not realize the due date was May the 22nd, so that due date's already gone. Don't worry about it. It's just for a point, but if you want to go ahead and get the point for that, if you'll take care of that tonight, that's fine. Any due date I've left open. It's not going to shut you out past the due date. So just make sure that you get that done. That was due last night. It's really short, just your basic contact information. If I need to get hold of you, how can I get hold of you for any reason? So you just go on contact information, and then you can see it's right here, but you'll be able to put it in if you have any problems with that. Let me know. Just start your attempt and complete that. Okay, due June the 7th is transportation. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but transportation. And it will give you instructions on what to do there. Then an interview with your transportation director. And this is what I was saying. As you start and begin the community expenditure plan, the CEP, I'm hoping that these activities will help you. So this is transportation is basically giving an overview of your transportation department. All of these are relatively easy as far as time consuming goes, because I do understand you're trying to wrap up the program, you're trying to get your dissertation and get it ready to move forward with and take care of that. So these are not as intensive as it would be maybe some of the other courses that you had, but there's a Transportation 1, Transportation Director Interview, Child Nutrition 1, Child Nutrition Director Interview, and here are the due dates for each of these. So as you knock out one, you can knock out the other, and this is how I'm going to take attendance. If you complete the assignment by the due date, then that's you have attended for that week and that period of time. So just know that we have maintenance 1, maintenance director, finance 1, finance director. Here is your presentation plan. Don't worry about the due date on that, because if you do it, it'll be completed. Just the fact that you're going to do your managerial plan presentation and your chapter presentation, then I will go in and grade that for you after that evening. We will be doing weekend work. That's how I'm going to do that and collect attendance. So if you do attend another professor's course, for which I would anticipate being very rare, I do understand that things come up, but if you do attend another professor's course, make sure that you complete and I will send the work to you, but you will do the work that was asked of the people who did attend, and that will be a means of attendance. And we can work through that individually on one-on-one. Of course, the first weekend is going to be the conference. It's all about your dissertation. I won't be doing anything with you other than being there to support you, because that first weekend is going to be, and we'll look at it here in a minute, but it's going to be all about the College of Education supporting you in your dissertation and giving you information and resources then. And then we get into the CEP, Part A, B, C, and D. Part A and B is due July the 19th. Part C is the 29th, C and D. And then the final copy is due by July the 30th. And your clinical log is due by July the 31st at the very end. So this is the assignments for the day. A great suggestion, Eric. Due to many of us being in the same district, are we able to schedule a group interview with the respective individuals? For the sake of your maintenance director and your child nutrition director, I highly recommend that. Because if each of you are nailing them down for an interview, that's not going to be good. But what I want you to do in that situation, and that's a great question. What I want you to do in that situation is I want you to get that information, but put your own spin on it. And what does it mean to you as a leader and your leadership, and do a little reflection. So individualize it in that way. Yeah, great question. Yes, you can schedule a group interview with that person, since you are working in the same district. It's a great question. Any questions on this? Any more questions on assignments? Okay, great. I do, when I'm thinking of it, I will send announcements out via Ultra, via the shell, but I will also email you things. So be sure to check your emails on a daily basis as well, especially if there's any communication in preparation for the next class. Like this class, I asked you to read the norms article about creating norms, just so you're familiar with that. So, and I may add some other stuff for you to do in preparation of those Zoom sessions. So the weekend classes, the Next Step conference will be the first weekend, June the 22nd, 23rd. I may have some guest speakers come in. I'll be doing some presentation to give you some information. We'll maybe do some case studies, maybe have you to do some research, just to broaden your experience and knowledge of what's going on at the state in regards to some of these other things. Not at the Next Steps conference. That's going to be all about the College of Education giving you support on your dissertation. Weekend 2, and I'll be adding content to here later. Right now, I haven't finished with that, but anything that we'll be doing, you'll be able to do and complete that weekend. So it's not going to be any outside work for you. So any assignment or any activities that we do, we'll be completing them within the context of the weekend. So our second weekend, we're going to concentrate on finance, and that is will take up the whole weekend. That'll be July 13th and 14th, and we'll finish up. We'll come back to auxiliary services on July the 27th and 28th. Any questions on our weekends? All right.
I have one question, but I may just need to wait until after. Can I just ask my question after class?
Sure, Whitney, no problem. Just hang around afterwards and we'll have a conversation.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, certainly. Okay, now let's talk about the capital expenditure plan. If you went through Gardner-Webb's Master's in School Administration, then you're kind of familiar with this format of creating an evidence with artifacts to support what you learned. So that's what the capstone project is for this. You won't be, for those, like I said, for those of you familiar with Gardner-Webb, you won't be submitting it to TaskStream. You'll just submit it to me, and I'll be grading and evaluating those. So we'll talk a little bit about that. You really do need to spend some time with this. And like I said, hopefully the managerial plan, the interviews, the one-page summaries that you're doing, well, you can use that information in this. So under the capital expenditure plan, or the CEP, here's some information. Here's some a rubric guidance, what the title page needs to look like. It does need to be tied into the superintendent standards 5 and 7, which goes along with managerial leadership and micro-political. I posted that also in tonight's activity, or excuse me, in tonight's content and information. We'll be digging into that more later about Standard 5 and Standard 7. And there are all of the North Carolina aspiring superintendent standards. Digital competencies, just be aware of those. We won't do anything with those necessarily, other than you're going to show them any chance you get to show your digital competency in your CEP, you need to do that. And if you feel like you're going to be late in submitting that, you need to let me know, but that's not anything we need to worry about right now. So here's the rubric that I am going to use when I grade your CEP. And it does all come from the North Carolina Superintendent Standards 5 and 7. 5 is about managerial leadership. 7 is about micro-political leadership as you're working through. So managerial leadership is all about budgeting, staff, and problem solving, communicating, all that management stuff, giving credence to learning, but also safety, social and emotional learning, mental health of students, and taking whatever resources that you have on hand, or that you can reach out and capture to address the needs of your district is managerial leadership. And that's about keeping students safe, keeping students warm, keeping students supported, keeping students fed, things along those nature is that Standard 5. We're going to be looking at emerging, developing, proficiency, and accomplishment. Proficient is a 3, accomplished is a 4, and you need to at least be proficient. These are the expectations for proficient, and these are the expectations for accomplished. Part A of the CEP is you're going to do a needs assessment. You're going to do not a comprehensive needs assessment, just a needs assessment in district budgeting and facility plans. And as I said before, this is where we get it aligned with their strategic plan. But how is that represented in the vision and mission of the district? So and this is where some of the reading that you're going to be doing in your text are going to help you too, as far as giving you some theoretical context and some resources to quote in your narrative about your needs assessment. So part A is about conducting the needs assessment on how the district budget and facility plans support the district. You want to create a snapshot of the district. And that kind of goes back to your managerial plan. You can use some of that presentation. You can use some of that in your snapshot. And then based on what you found out, make some recommendations. There's some guidance document here we're going to talk about in a little bit. Marketing plan, part B, is you're going to create a marketing plan based on what you learned in part A with some strategic objectives. Part Z is you're going to talk to some internal and external stakeholders and also give some reflection about the marketing plan and the data collection. How has that changed your view or your vision of your district, but what does some others say about some of the work that you've done? And then you're going to reflect on part D is going to be reflections on each subsection of Standard 5 and Standard 7. So that's going to be a reflection on where do you see yourself in that particular part of Standard 5 and Standard 7 of the superintendent standards. So that's the rubric. You'll need to review that. If you got any questions about that, let me know. All right, here is some guidance document that I put here for you. The kind of takes each one and it gives you kind of a framework to use when you're writing that narrative. So this is good. The rubric's going to tell you what's expected, but this is going to help you get to what you're expected to in the rubric. All right, so you can review that for each part of the CEP, and we may be doing some activities that will help you work on the CEP in week 2 and week 3 face to face. You'll have some opportunities to work together and to kind of progress forward in the CEP. So there'll be some work sessions, some group sessions that'll help you with that. And the marketing plan, that's just going to be a basic action plan based on the needs assessment that you created, who's going to do what, when type thing. The part C gives you some pull a group of people together. I know during the summertime that may be a little difficult, but for those of you who are in district together, that could be some of your stakeholders there. You could go ahead and do it, maybe do some emails, go ahead and recruit people before they get out of the building and say, hey, you owe me because I covered your class, or you owe me because I helped you get the Title I money that you needed. So I need your help. So go ahead and capture some of those people and hold them hostage. And I may be going in and out because I just got word that my internet connection is unstable. So let me know if you can't hear me. All right, so standard alignment, this is how you see yourself for each of the standards, ranking yourself either accomplished, developing, proficient, or accomplished. Developing, proficient, or accomplished on each standard. And here are those standards broken down for you as well, and how they're related to the CEP. And this is just I believe it's just a copy of the rubric again. Sorry, I slid that in at the end just so you'd have it. All right, any questions so far? We'll be going back over this again. This is just kind of an overview. Here is what the title page needs to look like. Okay, so that's there for you to use. There's the standards once again as well. So there is the CEP. Any questions on that? We will go over it again. But I just want to let you know that that's the capstone project. And please pay attention to, it's also up here in the assignments when each part is due. Any questions? All right, so we are getting towards the end of the class session. So any questions on anything dealing with here, just some resources for you, some key resources for you to look at and use, some information about dissertation. If you want to pull in some of the latest, if you're in North Carolina, I know South Carolina do some different things, and you may be Whitney, you're in a unique situation. You may not have a teacher working conditions survey. So anything that evaluates the program or the school or the area that you supervise, we can work on that. I don't think that's intentionally put anywhere where it has to be included, but if you want to pull some of that information, you can. Some research and writing resources for you. Program information and resources. This is just all, you should have already seen this. There's a sample dissertation template. We will not be using any task stream for our course, so you don't need to worry about that. Just some basic information university puts out there to help you. Resource information for you there. There's some information from the Graduate Studies Office, Knoll Center for Disability Resources. Contact me individually or contact them if you need some assistance there. Information about library, writing center, Center for Professional Development. So just a lot of resources there that the university's put for you to support you in the program. You should be aware of all those, have already worked with those if you need be. So as you're ending the program, don't know that anything there would be new to you. All right, so I'm going to stop share, and we're winding down right now. So this is where I need to hear from you. I have done all the talking tonight, and I have only had 1 cup of coffee. And so I need to hear from you, give my voice a break, but I want to hear from you. So I want to ask everybody, is 7 o'clock on Thursday nights good for you? I know what are you used to as a cohort? Do you normally meet at 7 p.m. on the nights that you meet, or do you do anything different? Hey, I'm seeing some nods. So 7 o'clock is good for everybody. We're all good. Okay, that's great. I live in Mount Airy, even though I work in Wilt, so I've got about a 50-minute drive. So I appreciate that. That gives me a chance to get home, grab a cup of coffee, a quick bite to eat. Before we start class on 7. So class will be from 7 to 8:30, give or take 10 minutes. And then if you ever need to meet with me at any other time or after class or before class, just let me know. I can meet as early. I could probably meet as early. I leave, depending on the day, I leave about 5:30, get home about 6:30. So I can meet as early at 6:30 if you need to meet before class. If you need to meet after our class and after the recording, that's fine. We can do that too. So I want each of you to think about something, reflect on something. This is our optimistic closure. So what do you need? What do you want me to know about your cohort? What do I, as becoming part of this group, and I'm the outsider coming in right now, and you look like a bunch of wild and crazy kids. I need to know what's coming my way. What do you want me to know about your cohort?
I think we just want you to ask about us. Ask the previous instructors. I think they will be able to sum it up a little bit better than us.
Ask them about you. Are you sure you want me to do that?
I think that might be a good way to sum it up.
So give me a
There is
previous
none,
instructor.
there is
We
none other like us.
Sorry, what?
There is none other like us. You'll never have another experience like this.
Well, I'm jacked up now. I'm excited about this. So y'all don't mind if I trying to get, just get real with you. Is that what you're saying? Awesome. I love that. This is going to be exciting. So so Dr. Fisher or Dr. Stone, have you had Dr. Stone in any of your courses? Okay. Sometimes actually you need to know this. Dr. Stone was over the doctoral cohort for Gardner Webb. Dr. Laws, for those of you who know Dr. Laws, was over the doctoral program for several years, and he left to go back into that interim gig. Dr. Stone took over for him. Are you aware or do you know of Dr. Lamb? Okay. Dr. Lamb was the chair of the master's program. So I don't know that you'll interact with them any. They may come in and just be a part of the class. They may do some town hall meetings, but Dr. Lamb is switching over to be going to be chair of the doctoral program, and Dr. Stone is switching over to be chair of the master's program. So they're just flip-flopping. So for those of you who know who they are, for those of you who don't know who they are, then just forget what I said. It doesn't matter anyway. So Dr. Fisher would be a good one to ask. Okay. I love your honesty. Thank you, guys. Hey, and whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Whatever happens in 740 stays in 7040. And I forgot to mention that because I normally do. I was teaching a doctoral cohort class, gosh, I guess back in 2011, 2012. I had a candidate talk about some situations they were going out in front of the whole cohort. They were being honest. They were sharing some things. They mentioned some things. Well, before that candidate got home, what they had said already made it back to their district. So, and we're not going to play that game. We're not going to do that. You are a group. You support each other, got each other's back. Whatever we talk about, because if we're going to have real open conversations, and you need to be comfortable sharing. So whatever is said here stays here. So whatever happens in 740 stays in 740. Okay, just don't get too crazy on it. All right. So I will reach out and find out what I can about your cohort, but this is very exciting. I'm glad to hear that you are a unique group. I have been given that title of being unique myself, so I will try to match my uniqueness to your uniqueness. How's that? All right. Well, listen, I'm gonna stop the recording right now. Let me